Hello, my name is Autumn Brown, and I'm a researcher with Oklahoma State's Oklahoma Oral History Research Program. For our Art, Activism, and Education Oral History project today, August 26, 2021, I am meeting with Gabriela Castaneda.
Close, yes.
How do you say it?
It's Gabriela Castaneda.
Gabriela Castaneda. Okay, sorry.
That's why everyone calls me Gabby.
So I'm going to be meeting with Gabby to discuss her work as an artist in the Tulsa community. So Gabby, thank you so much for talking with me today. Let's just begin with talking to me about your early years. Like, tell me your life story.
Oh. Well, I am originally from California. I was born and raised in East Los Angeles, California. I'm first generation born here. I have 7 siblings, 4 brothers and 3 sisters. Hella cousins. My parents are originally from Mexico. My dad's from Chihuahua and my mom's from Mexico City.
Okay, so how did your early years kind of lead up to your work as a photographer? How did you get into the world of photography?
I guess it just goes with, I always wanted to travel the world. I always wanted to live out of a backpack, and I just wanted to see the world and have memories. And I liked postcards. Back then when I was younger, postcards were a thing. So I liked the images. I wanted to be that person. And then I liked lookbooks too. And magazines and the news. We watched the news a lot when we were younger. So just, I wanted to be that person. You know, I wanted people to see what I saw and how I saw it.
Come in.
Oh,
No.
that's probably my backpack.
Oh, well,
Sorry. It's recording. Bye.
So you said that
Sorry.
you're good. You're the first generation in your family born here.
Yes.
Did that have come with pressure, or what was that like?
Yes and yes. Well, I was born here, but English is not my first language. A lot of the TV shows and cartoons and music and stuff like that I got into as I grew. So basically my household was very typical Mexican typical household. You know, everything's in Spanish, news, movies. I was watching black and white movies. Recently I've been watching Boomerang and Beverly Hills Cop, and a few years ago, I think it's maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I finally watched Coming to America. That movie's funny. I love Eddie Murphy. But stuff like that, even just hip hop and stuff like that. It was all Mexican music, you know, and it was different. It was strange because it's you're from here, but it's you're not. You know, it's just really weird. Yeah, it was just not the same.
And just FYI, because of the way these work, usually I'd be yeah, but I have to be quiet because they transcribe these. So if you see me over here going, that's because don't think I'm weird. But it's because
So you're good. I'm a weirdo, so you're good.
So when you say that, so then you went to school with
That was traumatic as well.
Yeah, so talk to me about that, going to school.
I felt lost. And I didn't belong. I just felt like I didn't belong. It's I'm Mexican, but I'm light. So it's not, I'm not, you're Mexican looking Mexican. And then I didn't speak English properly. And we learned everything in school. My parents, they spoke enough English to get by, but they only spoke it if they had to. Other than that, it was all Spanish, and all the people that we hung out with and all of our neighbors, and it was all Spanish. So when we got to school, it was kind of what in the hell? Where have I been? How is this? What's going on? But it was really weird. But it was uncomfortable, and it makes you feel odd. I still feel like I'm a weirdo. And then but it was it was shocking, just to see different people and just the whole language thing. English is backwards. So it's just, and then a lot of the words, even now, there's some words that I struggle with, or like even just structuring like sentences. I'm just like, wait, I don't think that's how it's said. But yeah, it was just really weird. And that's why I kind of like being a loner. Like, it's like a popular loner. I talk to everybody and I know a lot of people, but I'd rather be by myself. Yeah.
I can relate.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, okay, cool, thanks, bye-bye.
Okay, ready to go home now.
Yes. And school was kind of like that. I like playing around. That's one thing. I liked playing with anybody and everybody, and getting in trouble and stuff. So, like, once I got the hang of it, it was like, cool. But then you become your parents' translator and you're like 5 and you're like, hold on, Ma. Wait, huh? And you try to do your best, but like at the age of 5, you're translating. You're just like, I don't know what the heck I'm saying, but I think this is it.
Were you the oldest of your siblings?
No. I have 3 older sisters and 3 older brothers. Actually 2 older brothers and 3 older sisters. So it's like I'm like the 5th one, and then I have 2 younger brothers. Yeah, and that's it. So I'm like 3rd to last.
So one thing that Queen talked about in another interview was how she feels like artists art because they dealt with trauma, like they had traumatic experiences.
Yes.
So you kind of talked about like you're growing up as Mexican American, but feeling like very much on the outside of American culture.
Yeah. Well, you kind of end up feeling outside of both cultures, really. You're not ever going to be Mexican enough for the Mexican people. And you're never going to be American enough for Americans. You're always going to be hyphenated. So you don't feel like you belong. Even in the art community, I don't belong because everything's so black and white. So I don't feel like I found my place yet. And there's not a lot of people that look like me in art scene. So it's like not only do I feel like an outsider on both my cultures, but even in what I love doing.
Can you kind of unpack that a little bit?
I'm not really good with words. I just
like what makes you feel like an outsider? What are some things that make you feel outside of this art community?
Well, a lot of the things are catered to white for the most part. And then now you have those people that are now coming like, oh, let me do my part. And then, but it's not catered to me. It's not catered. It's not for me. A lot of the, which I don't want it to come off bad because it's like, it's a good thing that it's happening. It's about time that it's happening, that Black creatives are getting their props because Black creatives, Black people in everything, really. You can't really say anything is not rooted back to Black people. It's you can't. Rhythm, art, music, movement, fashion. It is. So it's a good thing, but it's like sometimes you're just like, oh damn, like I wish I could do this, but I can't. And then I have to be careful too, like how I photograph, like what photograph. The crazy thing is like that is my community. But if you notice, a lot of the times when I'm in my community, there's not other people that look like me. So I have to be careful with what I say and have to be careful to not overstep. And it's like with my photography, I like to photograph the people that I'm around. But if you look at my wall, there is only maybe 2. There's only 3 white people. 1 was a stranger and the other's Allie and Evan. And then 2 Latina women. 1 is a photographer's girlfriend, she's very nice, Vicky. And then the other one is my niece.
Yeah.
Other than that, every other person and every, that's always that I'm around or that I'm you know, that I'm friends with and just know and stuff is Black. So I have to be careful because I can't overstep. You know, I have to just, and when I do, I have to make sure that I do it right. You know, don't just be like, hey, I want it, you know. So that's kind of what I mean, sort of.
There's so much more to unpack there. So like when you say, like, there are things I can't do, what are some things you feel like you can't do?
Okay, so this is funny. So and it's nothing wrong. Like, I want to stress that because I think it's a great thing. But it's like, kind of like, oh, you don't realize until like things like this happened. So at the beginning with Black Moon first was coming together, which Beth is great for that. I didn't think nothing of it. I was like, oh, Black Moon Collective, cool. I didn't think nothing of the name. Mm-hmm. I just thought Black Moon Creatives, artists, bet. So they were looking for artists. Again, I didn't think anything of the name. So back then, that's before Tone got all big and whatever, how he is now and whatnot. Anyways, so he was like, yeah, you know, you should apply and see about it. Well, I can't because I'm not Black. It's like that kind of stuff. It's not like, you know, certain things, but it's that stuff that you really don't think about. But a lot of the opportunities now that are coming are catered for Black creatives, which is about fucking time. You know, because you have to celebrate and acknowledge Black creatives. But it's like when it's someone like me, I'm just like, damn, well, there's nothing like that for me. So I have to, I'm trying to create that lane for me. There's only like in the hip hop scene, even in the hip hop scene, there's like maybe one Mexican guy that I know of, Halloween. Mm-hmm. And that's it. I don't know. And then like I just discovered like 2 creatives too, which I was super excited. But it's like that kind of stuff, you know? And then if you really pay attention, it's either catered to Black or white, mainly white. You know what I mean? So it's like, where do you fit?
Yeah. I really appreciate that perspective. I mean, I do. I really do, because I think you're right. I mean, it's like, it's Black or white, you know? And a lot of the opportunities that are happening in Tulsa are being catered to the Black community, but you have someone like yourself who's very much a part of the Black community, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but I'm not.
Yeah.
See, it's like I'm in a circle inside the circle, and it's, I can partake in certain things, but I can't in everything.
Yeah. Which is
okay, and I'm okay with it, but it's just like sometimes I'm just like, damn, like, how am I going to make this happen for us? Like, for someone else like me? How am I going to make that happen? Like, how is this going to happen? And why do we always just get left out?
Yeah. No, I really, like, what you're saying is really resonating with me right now, because I think it's a perspective that we have to consider, right? Like, it's not just Black and white, but you have Latinx folks. Like, you have, what about people who are half Black, half white?
Yeah, like my kids. My kids are half Black and half Mexican. And it's like, so how do you hop through it?
Yeah. How many children do you have?
I have 2.
Okay.
I have a 14-year-old.
What?
Yeah. And my 12-year-old, soon to be 13 in October. Yeah. Oh, girl, I'm old. I'm 38.
No,
I just
you're
turned 38
I don't believe you.
Yeah, I was born in 83.
I don't believe you.
That's what I was saying. Like, back in my days, postcards were a thing. We didn't have the internet.
I need to see a birth certificate. I don't believe you. I knew you were just like...
Our phones had a cord attached to it. And it was, like, not even a handheld. It's like it had the little coil thingy. It was like... You actually, no. We had the rotating phones where you had to wait, like... And the same, bro. Like, every number.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Girl, you look good.
Thank you.
They say Black don't crack, but you ain't cracking either.
Thank God.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So this perspective is really resonating with me. I need a minute to like sit with it, but I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
So what parts of you really comes out in your work? Like, where's Gabriela in your photography?
I think in the dang it. These questions are so hard. I guess it's because the words are in my head, but it's just hard to piece them together. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's just the way my brain works.
Yeah, no.
Me, I feel like me is just in the way I view people. I think me is the essence of the photograph, or just me is in the angle, the shot that I decide to take. It's in the candidness. Is that even a word? But if it's not, it is today. Of the shot. You know, I'm not a big fan of posing. I will tell you I'm a big fucking person with angles. I hate a person that does this and you can't just angle the shit. That you cannot believe what that does for a photo. So I think that's me. I think that is me in those photos. It's not me as a person, but it is me as in my vision. You see me, you see how I see. And I wanted to strike a conversation. And the women, when it comes to the women, I love necks. I love the female body. I mean, I'm straight, but like, I can appreciate a woman, you know, and I love how we're made. And I love that we're not all just flat bootied, small tittied, blonde haired, white, blue eyed. You know, I like that we come in variety. You can't tell us apart. Mexicans and black people, we come in every shade. Mainly black people. Black people are the only people that I see that come from white to dark. We could try, but we don't. And so I like that. I like the different types of beauty. Society has fucked us so bad that we think that it's just one aesthetic, but it's not. I think everybody has something that is beautiful of them, be it personality wise, be it body, be it just the way their mind, the way they are towards people. Just anything can make someone beautiful. And I think I try to capture that. Even the moments like the protest ones that I have, even there's beauty in that, because if you look at it, it's a mixture of people and it's a working as one for one cause. And that's really how I feel society and humanity should be. But for some reason it doesn't work for people that want money and power and greed, and you know, but if ideally, I think that's what is beautiful, I think. And I want to take that photo and I want to conserve that moment and time and space, no matter how. It's like a flash. It's there and then it's not. And if you don't move on it right then and there, it's gone.
Yeah. I love that. Don't ever say that you can't piece your words together, because you pieced that together so beautifully. You did. And I love that. I don't know, you're just resonating with me, Gabby. I don't know what it is.
Not a lot of people get this.
I want more. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this.
I'm usually pretty quiet, or just like, if you see me out in person, I'm just like very short with my words. I'm just like, yeah. Or I let other people talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love this.
Okay.
That's amazing. So how often do you love your work, even at its most difficult?
I don't think I'm ever satisfied with it. I always find something wrong with it, or something that could have been better. So I would be a liar if I sit here and say, I'm like, damn, I'm proud of that shit. No, I always find something that I could have done better. Maybe I could have edited better when I do it. And maybe I should have used this filter, you know, maybe it should have been a color instead of a black and white, or maybe you should have sized it up, maybe you should have done this, or maybe that shot was not good, or you should have gotten that one. There's always, maybe that frame, not that frame, maybe this shade, not, it's so many. I'm just never 100% satisfied. I'm not even gonna lie.
Really?
Yeah, maybe like a 90%. And if I am, I'm like, yeah, this is cool. Soak it in for like 5 minutes. I'm like, fuck, I could have done this. Oh, damn it, look at that. Well, I don't like the way that frame comes with a picture. Like, it's not always. I'm not gonna lie.
So how do you feel about your work in the gallery right now
then? I like it. I'm proud of it. I hope people appreciate it. I hope it sparked conversations. But I'm proud of it. for being so last minute. You know, I'm really proud of it. There's so much that I wanted to put out there. So many ways that I wanted to go with it, but it just didn't happen. But I'm proud of it. I think the people in it is beautiful, and I hope that, you know, that it made them smile. Those that went to go see yourselves, I hope that you're like, damn, okay, cool.
So one thing I remember you saying when we were setting up the gallery and stuff was capturing Tulsa's culture.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that, because I mean, what is Tulsa's culture to you? And talk to me about the photos that you use to represent.
On the culture wall. For me, culture is family, is your brand, is business, is hustle, is art, is life. It's just, culture is everything, down to the fashion, and just everything. And what I wanted to show was that a lot of the creatives here are not just one thing. If a lot of friendships, a lot of mingling or networking, a lot of the it's very superficial. But if you take the time and you peel out, and you take the time, you know them, it's kind of like an orange, you just peel it, the layers and stuff, and then you get to see so much. And I wanted to show those people, like Storm, the very first photo on my culture wall. A normal person that doesn't know her would just look at it and be like, oh man, okay, that's a dope pose. She look fire. Okay, I fucks with the lipstick, the shades, you know, the TNT wings, and you know that's a Tulsa staple. When I first came out here, the everybody talked about TNT wings. Oh, you gotta get TNT wings. You know, shout out to sis. And I was part of the TNT menu for Gabby Gold wings. Yeah, we created that. It was it was a hit and miss, but it was like I love mustard, so it was like a mustard, spicy kind of like bourbon. All the shit that I love. So, anyways, so I wanted to, and it was at the Fire in Little Africa Shining video. That's why her hair is done that way and her makeup. So she was out of the clothing already. So it was a video shoot, and I just like Storm she's a mother. She's a fucking painter. She's what do they call it? Mavas? I don't know, the people that makeup artists. You know, she's a mom. You know, she's got twins, and she just had another one with burns. So they've got 3 kids, and then he's got 2. She's a wife, a mother, a student, a makeup artist. She's a hustler. So you don't know that, but to me, that's beautiful. Oh, and she's a dancer too. She can dance her ass off. So to me, that's beautiful. So I had to capture that. That's culture. A mother, a creative, and not only that, she's wearing TNT. So I want people to I don't know. I wish I could have labeled in each piece and actually say a little bit about each person. One day I'll have an exhibit like that. Mark my words. Because I want people to, like, yeah, it's my photograph and it's the way that I see things and it's my art, but it's the people to me that make it. Without that person, I wouldn't have that shot. And I don't photograph just anybody, you know, and to me, that's culture. You know, the Suarez's, you got Suarez Republic, she's an opera singer too. And they do a lot of charitable works for the arts for kids, because you cannot believe how art really does help somebody. You know, then you got Tizzy, you know, she does massage, and I don't know what other shit Tizzy does, but she does a lot, you know. And then you've got, you know, Saray, you know, she does photography, she does fashion. That motherfucker can organize shit, because I'm not organized, you know. And so it's that kind of stuff. And to me, that's culture. To me, It's whatever that person brings with them. To me, that is. I don't think there's just like a little checkbox that makes a culture.
Yeah.
And they're from here and they have a story, and then their family have stories and their parents have stories. So that is the culture of Tulsa. They are Tulsa.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And I mean, for me, I feel like society kind of like deems people important and deems people unimportant, right? Like societal norms say you're important and you're less important because of where you are in this hierarchy. And for me, it's like what you guys do is capture folks who would otherwise be invisible.
Yeah.
Right? Like they've already been rendered invisible because of their position in the society. But because of you guys' work, you're rendering them visible and you're rendering them important. Like these people are important. And photographically, I am immortalizing them through this photograph.
Yeah.
And so it's so on point to just like, you know, just showing people that this is what's important. Like, I don't care what the world says. This is what's important to me because of my knowledges and because of my experiences in this place.
And I mean, look at where we are and look at what resources are catered to North Tulsa. What is catered to Black youth? Education-wise, food-wise, health-wise, what is catered? And you would think that would, you know, unfortunately it does fuck some people up, but some people flourish. And I think that's what I wanted to see, because I focused on showing people's brands too, within the photos, within the person. Okay, so it's like this person's a creative, but you don't know how much or how many people this person touches. You don't know how many branches come with them, you know, and that's just the person, the individual. But then you go to the clothing. Like, my photos are intentional. And then you look at the clothing and then you branch from that. And so on and so on. And it's like, and it all connects.
Yeah.
So I think people should see that. That's 95% of America's reality. And you're right, society does make us feel like we're not important, we don't matter. You know, we're not the right color, we don't live on the right side of the fucking city, we don't have the right numbers on our bank accounts or on our credit scores. Mine's high. You know, but or, you know, that kind of stuff. And I think it's important for the younger people to see themselves. It's kind of like me when I go to the doctor. I hope that I have a Latino or Hispanic or Spanish or Latino, whatever kind of doctor. But if I don't, then I would prefer a Black doctor opposed to a white doctor anytime. But it's not offered enough. So your interactions with that doctor is always going to be a little sketchy, because they're going to tell you what works for them, but they're not going to take you into consideration because they don't know anybody that looks like us outside of that office. I could guarantee that.
Yeah.
So when I see someone that looks at me, I'm like, oh, hell yeah. I'm sure it's the same for you. So when someone sees those photos, I want them to be like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Or like, that's my mom. Or like, hey, I've seen that person. Or like, you know, just I want them to see themselves. So that's important. That needs to be represented.
I love that. Yeah. That's my mom.
Yeah. Well, see, like Storm has 2 daughters. You know, so that's what they're gonna see. And that could be anybody's mom. That's what I'm saying. Like, I wish I had the time to put that under each photo, because each photo that I have, each person that I chose was for a reason. Yeah.
And Pay-T, I saw that was in there too. That's a big part of the culture.
Hell yes.
Okay, so talk to me about Talk to me about your feelings about museums and their function in the community. Let me give you some backstory, right? We see so many of these initiatives by the museums in our community that are trying to intentionally focus and center Black voices, people of color, et cetera, et cetera. As an artist in this community, what are your thoughts about the function of these museums and how they are functioning currently in this commemorative year of the race massacre?
That's funny because I just told a story about I went to Greenwood Rising and but the Philbrooks, the Gilcreases, and the AHAs and all that, they are functioning as profiting for self, like always. Literally, if they gave a fuck about the community like they claim, they would offer permanent things for the community that they supposedly give a fuck. But if you pay attention, they only give a fuck when it's profitable for them. Like the 1921 race massacre. It's profitable. So they're going to market it. February. It's marketable. So they're going to market it and profit. Juneteenth. The same shit. Any Black holiday. Same shit. Cinco de Mayo, same for us. We don't even celebrate that shit. Please stop. So that, like that kind of stuff, I feel like museums are, functioning for self-profit. It's nice that they are trying, I guess. I feel like they're half-assing it because they could do so much more. I think if they have the power to change shit on a permanent basis, and they don't. They don't. Not because they can't, because they don't want to. They don't care to, because it doesn't affect them the other 300 and something days out of the year. So...
What do you think they could, like when you say they could do something more permanently and they could fix a lot of things?
Yeah.
What do you think they could do?
So when they profit off of Black art or Latino art or Native art, don't pocket that money. It doesn't belong to you. Pay the creatives. Don't take that 60-70% commission or that 40-30% that you want off of their work. Take 10%. Give your other 20 to the community. And the rest to the artist. If you're going to take a 30% chunk, do something with it. Don't pocket it. Actually provide permanent installations. Why are we only seasonal? White art isn't seasonal. That shit at the Philbrook is white as fuck and boring, but it's permanent. That shit is trash. It's beautifully created, but it's trash. So that's what I mean. They could invest that into the McLeans, into Booker T before white people discovered it was a great school. Because before it wasn't for them, but now, of course, Booker T is amazing. So to those schools that East Central that don't get those budgets that white schools like Jenks and Unions get, pour that money into them. Most of these kids don't have parents that are, sometimes it's not a 2-parent household. Sometimes it's a no-parent household. Sometimes it's a parent but always working household. Sometimes it's one income. Sometimes it's no income. These kids could, art can save lives, man. You don't understand just writing shit out, what that can do for a kid. Just painting, taking a photo, learning something, putting their energy into something good that maybe one day they can profit off of. Music, sports, that's art. You're fucking moving around and they profit off them still. But they don't care to invest in them. And that money that these fucking museums make off of that art, that could be create an after school program, Buy the uniforms. Buy fucking tablets. Don't wait for fucking Transformation Church to do that for you. And even then, they couldn't afford it for all the students. But those that got it, do you know how much they had benefited? But Pastor Mike Todd knew that. But he's black. Why? What's up? All these churches, Victory, no, Victory, we're all about Jesus and Christ. What has Victory Christian Church ever done for the fucking community? What have these fucking museums permanently done for the community? Aside from profiting. They could do so much. Give them free access. Fucking, I don't know. But they could do something. I feel like they could do so much more. Like Greenwood Rising. I think they said, I went to that shit because I had to. I was like, please let it be something good. But no, it's like I told Saray when I walked out of the museum, I walked out pissed. I told her that much money, either it was 12.8 or 128 million. So I think it was like 12.8 or 128. I can't remember. Because I kind of shut down after that. When I went, it was white people in that little section. They make you go as a group. It's like a fucking Band-Aid on a wound that'll never heal. I think that's the best way to describe it. Because they could have done so much more. With the way that, they have a museum, right? It's like the size of a fucking peanut. But you look next door, what they're building is a fucking restaurant. For who? Because it's not for the community. Because the prices are going to be skyrocketed. Unless all the chefs are black. And it's black owned some fucking where. Is it really for the community? Why instead of spending 12.8 or 128 fucking million dollars on that building, I don't know, maybe pay the victims and their descendants and their direct descendants, buy off the fucking block and give it back to black people, and then maybe create a little museum on the side. But then you're gonna build that half-ass hurry up fucking museum as a place for white people to go, oh my God, this is tragic. Oh, how could we? Jesus, never again. But then you go back with your little Trump flag. And you keep voting Republican. And you keep teaching that shit to your kids. And you hold your purse still when you see a black person down the street. And you speak English. This is America, people. Because they don't speak your language. But America doesn't have a specific language. And I just feel like it's a place for them to mea culpa and then go back to their fucking racist lives. Because these people are not going to think about that shit when they go back. And that's why we have racism the way it is. Because it starts at home. All you have to do is go look at those postcards that they used to send to each other of people being lynched. You in the crowd, you see children who are now grandparents who had children who they instilled that into, and that's how it's passed. And I feel like they have this wall where they acknowledge the people that donated, like the Kaisers. Again, it's a fucking tax write-off. These people don't give a fuck. They never will. But we have a whole museum thanking them on a fucking wall. Thank you for your contribution. It's infuriating. That money should have gone to the community. That money should have gone to the victims and their family to allow them to create generational wealth, which was stolen from them. They could have bought the block, man. You got that much fucking money, buy the buildings, pay off one of the J's, buy Frios. But they don't do it because they don't give a fuck. Because as long as you stand, they're always, and they just want to keep you at the bottom, and they're always going to keep trying to keep you at the bottom. And that's what they do, even down to fucking art.
So the commission raised about I think it's about 31 million, and 18.2 was used to build Greenwood Rising.
Where's the rest?
I don't know what they did with the rest.
That's my point. Where's the rest?
Yeah.
If that's how much that was raised and the museum cost that much, where's the rest?
God, oh my gosh, you said so much here.
And why does it take, again, Transformation Church, to give money to the descendants, to the victims? Why does it take a Black church to do that?
Yeah.
That commission is not just white. What are you doing with the money, man?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Greenwood Rising, it's really just like a memorialization of like trauma and pain, right? Like I had this, because my job with the Eddie Faye Gates collection is listening to survivor stories. So all day I listen to survivor stories. I read their stories, and that shit is traumatic. Like when I first started there, I didn't know if I could do that job, because some of the stuff that they talked about that they went through during the race massacre, I'm just like, I don't know if I can listen to that shit. And so then going into Greenwood Rising, it was that again. It was like lynching, Red Summer, the survivor stories. And I scurriedly walked out because I was like, it seems like this community will forever live in the shadows of the 72-hour race massacre without accounting for the formerly enslaved people who came and created this town, Greenwood, and was able to go from being enslaved to millionaires. And then even after the massacre, able to rebuild and flourish even more than in 1921. And that history, it's like, it just seems like we're forever living in the shadow of the race massacre. And that's it.
You know why? Because that doesn't create money. It's not headline.
Yeah.
But it's like the photos. People don't care to peel the layers. People just want to see that.
Yeah.
And it's sometimes it's beautiful, sometimes it's tragic, but it's captured in time.
So one thing you said was the Kaisers, right?
Ugh.
That's a question I have. What are your literally the very next question I have for you? What are your thoughts around nonprofits and their funding of the arts in the community?
First off, it's not a nonprofit if they're profiting. It's alright.
It's no holds barred here. And so, here's my thoughts. Right, you have all of these the Greenwood Art Project and Fire in Little Africa and Tulsa Artist Fellowships, right? All funded through these nonprofit entities, right? But it's you have Black artists or artists of color, but the funding sources are white, and we've we know that often, right? Those white funding sources kind of give a little bit of free range, but
no, they give you a leash. That's what they give you.
Right. At any moment, they can pull the leash back.
Yes.
So what are your thoughts about this interesting dynamic of nonprofits who are trying to fund the arts and who are trying to uplift the arts and say use your art as protest,
but not too much. Pretty much. My question is, why do we always go back to white people? Why can't we just make our own shit? Why is the white person always the answer? All that shit could be done without them. You just have to find the right people. That's my first question. The first question is to us. It's not to them, it's to us. It's why. Why are we outsourcing? That makes no fucking sense. At all. So to all that is that's my question. It's like, why do we keep doing that to ourselves? Because we know anything that these nonprofits give us is not ever without a leash. It always comes with, you can do this, but don't do this. You have freedom, but within these parameters.
Yeah.
So we just keep doing that to ourselves.
Yeah. I just read this, it was an essay by Audre Lorde.
I love her.
Me too. And it was titled, We'll never be able to dismantle the master's house using the master's tools.
Exactly.
And, yeah.
There's no better fucking way to put it.
Yeah.
We keep going back. And we obviously don't need them. Back in the days, before 1921, Black people didn't need the white man. Why did we become so dependent? Same thing with us. Except now, you see, that's why people say, oh, the Mexicans work together, all this and that. Because, some of them decided to work together. And sometimes it starts from the bottom, sometimes it starts with the little and then it grows into a lot. But it takes community to break off from them. Because you don't need them. Yeah. Because we are the money. We are the fucking product. Yeah. That's why when I say everything goes back to Black people. Why are you outsourcing your shit? I don't fucking get it. If they're coming to you with money, they need you. So why do we keep doing that shit to ourselves? It baffles me.
It makes me think of Master P said, when they offered me $1 million, I knew that I had a $40 million idea.
Bro, exactly. That is my point. And fuck them fronting us. Bitch, you're my partner or this is a no-go. Simple. That's how it needs to be. And people just need to stop fucking relying on white dollars. Stop.
Yeah.
When that stops, all the bullshit can start stopping and it'll change. That's how we create the change. Nonprofits, man. It's never a nonprofit. I mean, the only one that nonprofits off of that shit is us. Because they profit. It's not a nonprofit.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like the way you said that. So talk to me about EmpowerHER.
Ah, yay. So that started because of my thing that I told you, where I feel like I don't quite fit in either world. I just wanted to do something. I mean, not only am I also Latina, but I'm also a woman. And even that alone chops our shit off. We don't get the respect we fucking deserve. We don't get the credit. We don't get the pay. Shit, we don't get the love or support. But, man, we support everybody. So, I just felt like I wanted to do that for women, but women of color, specifically. So, I kept telling myself, I used to live right over there in the apartment over there that way. And I used to always be like, man, I want to do like an art show and just have it all be women. But I want women everything. And then he was like, man, I've been wanting to just have like an apartment party and stuff. And I'm a minimalist. Usually I'm not this. I'm simple. So I was like, man, maybe we should have a party in my place. And he's like, yeah, I'm in. And I was like, yeah, okay. So I put it off for like a year. And one time he's like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just do it. I said, okay, fuck it. So I literally just cleaned my place, and whatever was out, I kind of like put it in my walk-in closet. And it was literally just my bed, just the couches, a table, and we changed the light bulbs in the apartment. It was like one room was pink, one room was blue, one room was green, the other one was yellow and purple. And he cooked, because, you know, he cooks. LaRue's Kitchen. Best food ever. And edibles. But, like... so, like... he cooked, and I was like, okay, there's some few artists that I kind of love their work. Saray was one of them. I Instagram, and literally I just hit her up and I was like, hey, I'm doing this event, and I was wondering if you'd want to be part of it. And she was like, yeah. So I was like, okay, cool. So literally what I had is my walls were naked, and I had people like, I think it was Saray, Ange, Tina, Beth from Black Moon, Saray's friend from OKC. She does photos. Man, she's great too. So and then Storm, you know, and then my work, and then I think Nico. I think she was like the only. I don't know what she is. I think she's Native. I'm not sure. So I had them just pick a wall, come and set up, and just invited people. And yes, there was concerns because it was my apartment, my 1-bedroom apartment. But my neighbors were awesome as fuck. My downstairs neighbor was cool as shit. So was my neighbor next door, and then so was the other one. So it was cool, man. And we was all smoking and eating, and then Tizzy and him ended up just fucking freestyling and shit. It was dope as fuck. And then I wanted to do it bigger, you know, because I do gift wraps with JB every year. So we get like different artists, like OKC artists and Tulsa artists, and we just basically have a show and we don't charge. We have people bring like donations for whatever like organization we want to at that time. Like we've done John 316, we've done the Day Center, we've done DVIS and shit like that. So I was like, I want to do it like that, but just for women, because we don't get enough of the credit. There's, you know, this is more like, our scene is like more male dominated, and we don't get the credit, you know, for the shit that we do. We don't get the support, you know, like the men do. So I was like, man, fuck this. I just want to get a bunch of badass creative women and make this bigger and create our own fucking lane, because we don't need them. So ironically, I was trying to fucking think of like how to follow that up, because it was pretty cool. And Saray hit me up, and she said, she was like, you know, I want to be, you know, I'm interested in kind of like, do you want to collab? Because she was doing the fashion, you know, and I was like, man, fuck it. Yeah, I'm with it. And that's how how she came to do EmpowerHER with me. And we did that show in December at the studio. We chose everything on purpose. You know, the studio is owned by 2 women, white, but whatever. And it was some fuck shit, like we knew. But everybody else was of color. The DJ, the dispensary, Marissa Danky Farms. If you ever need weed, God, I hope she's still around by that time. But see, that's what I'm saying. This is culture. We've paid TNT Wings, LaRue's Kitchen, Danky Farms, all black owned. We don't need the white dollar, man. This is what I'm saying. That's 4 fucking businesses. And within those businesses, there are other businesses. That's what, it's just, man, that pisses me off. Anyways. But like, so, you know, we wanted to fuse, you know, some OKC artists and Tulsa artists, kind of like what I was doing with JB and gift wraps. So we brought KO, who's a dope ass MC from OK. You know, she's from Edmond. OKC, I was gonna say, but she's from Edmond. And man, she's amazing, and she's beautiful, and she's talented, and she's just like a boss bitch.
And she's so nice.
Bro, she's humble, and
yes,
she's so real. I love it. And then Sheehan, she came out in America's Next Top Model. She's Asian. Yeah, she's fucking beautiful. But that's what I'm saying though. Like that's also too like a lot of Asians don't get credit in photography and shit. But anyways, so and then Tina is a creative too. She's black, but she's a painter, fucking amazing. And then a DJ. That was her first time DJing. And then Tizzy with Tizzy does what Tizzy does. And but every artist from photography, painting, clothes was for women.
That's amazing.
It was all women, and we just wanted people to come and support and see, and make the motherfuckers spend money with us for a change.
One thing that really stood out to me when I interviewed all the women at Fire Little Africa was they were all entrepreneurs in their own right. Like, names are escaping me, but Tizzy with the massage and the juice, Bambi with the massage,
and she takes care of old white people.
Yeah,
that's why she's always fucking working.
Always.
And she's a beast, man. She's a fucking beast lyrically, dude.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love her style of rap as well.
Yeah.
And then T Rush with the T and
the sea moss.
Yeah.
And she also does lashes.
Yes.
Girl.
It was just like, and then of course Jerica does everything. And it's just
fucking
like
Jerica, dude. She is sickening.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn man, you're so fucking fine. Like,
and she just does everything. I'm like,
bro, a mom, a wife, a fucking entrepreneur. She was actually one of the first people to publish my photos and my poetry on her J Parlay magazine. No lie. Shout out to Jerica Wortham. Girl, yes.
You do poetry?
Yeah. I have a lot in my head. I just put words together. Yeah. Always have. But photography is my shit.
Yeah.
I like to paint too. I like to sew also.
Did you paint that?
I did actually.
What?
That's supposed to be him. Yeah. I did that. Just freehanded it from memory from a photo.
Really?
Yeah.
That is amazing. I had to get that on.
Yeah. I did the walls out there too. That's my photo right there too.
Really? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just gonna turn this around so that we can archive it. Let's see.
Yeah. I don't think it's showing the wall. Oh, shit.
You took that photo or you drew
Yeah,
it?
no. I took that photo. That's my friend Alicia.
Oh my gosh.
She's one of my favorite people to photograph. Shout out to Alicia Sales. That's her too. She does a business. She cooks. She's like super healthy, so she can make vegan food and like good food. And then she does Alicia Fits. She will work your ass out.
Really?
She is like 42, bro, and she is fine as hell.
Really? Because I need a trainer.
Alicia Fits. That's what I'm saying, though. You see what I mean?
Yeah. It's like definitely a model for another Black Wall Street where our dollar can just circulate among
the
ourselves.
only thing that fucks us up?
What?
Greed and the need for power.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if people decided, again, the commission raised how much and where the fuck is the money?
Right. It's a lot of money to raise.
Like, if it only cost 18 something for the museum, but you got like almost 50 something. I mean, I'm not great at math, but like, I would want to see receipts.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let me just finish with this.
Yeah.
What do you want people to know about Tulsa, Tulsans, the Black community in Tulsa, but your community, like the Latinx community, the Mexican community?
I love my culture and I love my people. That's the thing about it. I'm very proud of who I am. I'm proud of my roots. And I love my people and I love our resilience. It's another thing that I admire with Black people too. The resilience, and no matter what, just elevate. And I don't know, I think people shouldn't sleep on Tulsa. I never heard of Tulsa, until I moved here. I always thought it was cows and fucking horses and mainly, native land. Because of the name. The name is native. I think it means like red dirt or red land. So I just, I didn't think, we have natives in California too, but like, it just didn't seem like it was much more than fields and cows and horses. But again, if you take the time, you see that there's so much to it. There's a lot of beauty in the fields, the silence of just being alone, the lakes, just a lot of nature. I never saw so many trees. I loved it. I love it still. Even just when I got off the plane, the smell of the air was different. And it's a lot slower. It's like city life, but at a slower pace. And I love that. I love that how much the art scene has grown, the music scene has grown. But again, that's why I stress that it's so important for that to be in our neighborhoods. Because look at what it does for a sleepy town. So imagine what it could do for a kid's life.
Yeah.
Even how it impacts you, how it's impacted me to deal with a lot of fucked up shit that I grew up with. And even with the shit that I still deal with now. I think a lot of us don't even really, I think a lot of creatives are fucked up. We are fucked up in some way. That's, I think, where and how we create. And this is our therapy. But anyways, I want people to see and really see what Tulsa is about, and not just the places to go to or the food places to go to, but it's like if I go to a foreign land, I'm not going to go to the fucking tourist spots. I'm going to go where the people are. I'm going to go to the neighborhoods. I'm going to go and eat with them and feel it. And I think that's what people need to do when you come to Tulsa. There's so much cultures, so many different. And I think there's so much to appreciate from each. And I think people should do that. And then even just the people. People are walking stories, dude. We're like walking books. We live in a library of so much info and stories and just memories and history. But we don't take the time. And I think that's why I like photography the best, because it makes that time stand still. So when I look at my photos, I go to that time. And, and I feel like people need to do that with Tulsa. People need to do that with the people. And I'm grateful. At first, I was like, man, I hate this shit. But I'm a city girl. So, and home is beautiful and it's full of culture too, but it's so fast. And I think people should slow down and just really take Tulsa in and invest in the mom and pop shops, because you have no idea what you can learn from them. Like, that's one thing that I do miss from back home is we got a lot of mom and pop shops in our neighborhoods, The liquor store, the dudes can tell you 20 different fucking stories and shit. And, and I feel like that's something that we should still have, something that should still exist, and it's community. Because, man, and it's there because when, like, Juneteenth and 1920, the legacy, and that you see what community is, you see what it could be if we just stop being so selfish and so fast and so about self.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, Gabby. Is there anything else that you want to end on?
Yeah. Invest in Black business and brown businesses. And, man, I don't know. Is this going to be forever?
Forever.
Man, just love people. just be kind to each other. It doesn't matter what we look like or where background we come from. At the end of the day, and man, if we were all blind, we wouldn't give a fuck. So live that way.
Thank you so much, Gabby,
You're welcome.
for talking with me today.
I feel like I talked a lot.